Hi, this is Francis from Easel. Today we're going to be talking about a troubleshooting step that we see a lot with certain machines in Easel, and it's something that we see quite frequently, so I just wanted to address it really quick. And that's having hard limits enabled on your machine. And this is a firmware setting, and essentially what it does is hard limits means that if your machine hits a limit switch, it enters a locked state. And so this means that you'll probably have to restart your machine and Easel to get it connected and working again. And we see this quite frequently when troubleshooting certain machines. And it's a really easy fix. Essentially, it's just going into the firmware and quickly changing that setting so that hard limits is disabled. This doesn't mean in any way that you won't be able to home your machine or use your limits. It just means that while you're carving, when it hits a limit switch, it's not going to immediately shut down and just stop. And we see this causing kind of a lot of confusion, and it's a really quick, very simple fix. Um, with anything like this, it's important to consult your machine provider first, but we just wanted to kind of address this issue really quickly. And so it's a pretty simple fix. Essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to go into machine at the top of the page. I'll get a drop-down menu, and one of the options will be machine inspector. This will bring up all this information here, and right here in console we can see my machine's firmware settings. These are all of the firmware settings. I'll link our support article detailing what all of these firmware settings mean in the link for this video, or in the description for this video. So if you have any questions about that, you can take a look at that. But essentially, what we're looking for here is this $21 value, which is the hard limits. And when it's equal to 1, it means it's active. So now what we're going to do is click on $21 equals 0 and press enter. And we'll see OK right here and the value that we entered, and that means that it's taken. We can then exit out of the machine inspector, and just to double check, we can click on machine again, machine inspector, and when we scroll down, we can now see that $21 equals 0. And this should stop the machine from hitting a limit switch and just immediately shutting down. Again, we see this quite frequently in technical support, and typically changing this firmware setting will fix that issue. But again, reach out to your machine provider, talk to them first, make sure that they're talking to you about your firmware. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
To learn more, head over to easel.com.